Hello, and welcome to this Sonar Summit session on securing the AI stack end-to-end protection from code to runtime. I'm Donald Fisher, VP of Product Partnerships and Corporate Development at Sonar, and I'm joined today by Eran Noah, Vice President of Product Extensibility and Partnerships at Wiz. So Eran, welcome. We're really excited to discuss this timely topic with you.
Hi, Donald. How are you? Thank you for having me, and we're super excited about the opportunity to talk today with you and with the customers.
Perfect. Well, we're going to be talking about some of the challenges emerging with the emergence of AI development into software development and all of the challenges that organizations face. And along the way, we'll talk a little bit also about some of the ways that Sonar and Wiz have been collaborating, some of the ways that we're bringing our solutions together. Maybe just to start off with, I'd love to set the stage a little bit and hear your perspective, at the high level. How do you think about how the security landscape is changing with the adoption of all of these emerging AI tools, agents for coding, coding assistants, all of the amazing things that are coming across the transom in recent months and years?
So first of all, I think it's an exciting era. Like this entire time, what's happening right now, I think we are facing new technology, embracing of AI. I think even going forward, it's something very exciting. Okay, it makes life much easier. Organizations today are able to ship more code into production much faster than they used to, right? Like even developers, like testing and a lot of the things that they have to do by themselves, now they can use Agentic AI that write codes for them. It makes the work much more efficient. So I think all of those kind of things are extremely interesting, extremely changing, but like any new technologies, it also have risks from the security perspective that we need to be mindful for.
Yeah, for sure. And how do you assess that risk? What do you see as the biggest areas of risk with the adoption of these tools? The risk that's here today, and do you see any risk coming over the near-term horizon that we need to prepare for?
Yeah, so first of all, it's a great question. It has multiple layers. I think if you go back in time, it's literally like the changing when people move from on-prem to cloud, and cloud introduced new risks. Also, AI introduced new risks. Okay, first of all, it starts with visibility. Even today, when you look about new modern application, customer having challenges, even understanding the visibility. What kind of AI services running? What is the running MCP in my environment? What kind of tools my agents are using? If I'm using any agents, right? My developer can literally, embrace new technologies and bring them into the cloud. And as a security persona, first of all, I need to have visibility. This is like one thing, one challenge that exists. The other challenges that exist is, as I mentioned earlier, more code is being shipped into production much faster, and your security organization is not growing that fast as amount of new code is being shipped into production. So the security teams need to work in a much more efficient way to handle those new code that been shipped into production, right? Obviously, the architecture of autonomous agents talking with agents within your organization, outside of your organization, and lastly, also the bad guys, attacker can actually leverage this very cool technology to attack your environment. Let's take, for example, zero-day vulnerabilities or any high-profile vulnerabilities. In the past, it can take weeks to write a code that will exploit that. Today, with AI, basically attacker can create those and to exploit those zero-day vulnerability in a matter of days, maybe hours. Okay, so this is the last challenge that exists. But I think the security tools and the security organization has much better way to handle those kind of threats if they will use AI internally, if they will actually have the better visibility, because the defender, the more they will embrace AI in their technology, has a better chance than the attacker because they see what's happening from the inside.
No, I think those are great points. One of the things that makes me wonder about is it seems like the stakeholders are changing around who's involved in owning security here as well, because you talked a lot about the security team, the defender organization. Obviously, the developers, traditional developers, have an essential role in code security at the time of development. And then, something I'm experiencing in my day-to-day life is now there's all these new kinds of developers, right? Like every business person I know is now, using agentic software development tools to build their own tools and systems and so on. So there's not just a lot more code, there's a lot more developers. So, how do you see that integrating with this, traditional notion of sort of runtime protection, when there's a clear delineation between the development time and the production time? Now it's like everything ships straight, many things ship straight into production, right?
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, even before let's say the new emerging of AI, from day one we talk about democratize. Like, think of like security as a team sport, right? This is why we truly believe everyone in the organization need to be engaged and have access to the same security platform. Because if you have an ongoing, let's take hypothetically speaking, now you assume that you have an ongoing attack right now in your environment, right? Most of the time your SOC team will identify like a suspicious activity, and their job is to identify very quickly if that's an ongoing attack, yes or no, to come up with a verdict, right? And they will try to stop the attack from happening, which is like isolate the VMs, isolate the network, terminate the process. Great. After that, they will have to be engaged with the cloud security teams to understand, okay, I saw this attack, but what is wrong with our system? Like, how the attacker get in? It's like a misconfiguration. Do you have a secret? Do I have a vulnerability? So what is the toxic combination that make this attack happen from the beginning, right? And the cloud security team will have to understand that. The moment the cloud security team do their investigation, and they will find, oh gosh, someone pushed plain text secret into production, they would like to engage with the DevSecOps or with the developer to find out who is the owner that actually pushed this code into production, to open a PR for them and do the remediation from the get-go. So this is like democratization. So everyone needs to collaborate together in order to fix that. Add that to the area of AI. Now it's democratization on steroid, right? Because as you mentioned, more teams, more persona is being engaged, right? So obviously, I think first of all, we have to put a lot of guardrails in place. Number one is security mindset, okay? Security mindset and security by design. Security by design means it has a couple of, let's say, flavors. The first flavor is like, I'm never shipping code to production or building something before I even did like a security review, right? Many times when people do security review, it's later on in the process, a moment before the code is being shipped into production, after they spend the time on building that, right? So security, from a security mind perspective, do your, let's say, security review earlier in the process as you can, like you do your architecture review, right? And this is like number one. Number two, obviously put all the guardrails in your CI/CD pipeline, your code scanners, that's for sure. But it's also a very interesting point that even the code being shipped or being generated by vibe coding, it also need to do the mindset of making sure that the model will create a built-in or a secure by design code. So for example, it will not allow me to write a code or to tell the agents, write me something, and it will automatically put a plain text secret in the code, right? So also the security or the vibe coding vendor will have to have more attention to the code being generated by AI. And my personal observation is the man in the middle, the man in the loop, it's always we need to have there, like, AI generate code for you, do your code review, right? Use scanners, okay? Like Sonar, like Wiz, scan your code before it's been shipped into production to prevent mistakes from happening.
No, it makes total sense, and I think it maybe is a good time we could talk a little bit about how we're bringing some of the capabilities that Sonar is well known for in our Sonar Cube family of products, and bring those together, connecting those to the moment of runtime through our partnership with Wiz. And a key foundational part of that is ingesting the security findings, code security and code quality findings that Sonar uncovers using its static analysis techniques and a broad array of code analysis and program analysis techniques. Creates those findings, but then surfaces those findings directly in Wiz so that they can be considered as part of the broader landscape of runtime security, application security. So, how do you see that new integration helping leaders address this problem of trust with all these new stakeholders without sacrificing the speed that AI otherwise enables?
So first, again, it's a great question. So as you know, we address all the persona in the organization, the SecOps team, the cloud security team, the DevOps team, and the developers. So we have like Wiz Cloud, Wiz Code, and Wiz Defend that helps the runtime. Because we believe in an open security platform, Wiz basically allow the companies and the different organization to ingest their own scanner. Like customer can bring their own scanner, whether it's like their code scanner, cloud scanner, pipeline scanner, or runtime scanner. That specific case, assuming that you're now using Sonar, right, to scan your code, your SaaS finding. So first of all, with the Wiz exposure management and the AppSec capabilities, first of all, they have a single pane of glass. To be able to aggregate in one single place all of their vulnerabilities from code, from runtime, and from cloud in one single place. This is like one thing. It's very, very good to have the visibility in one place. The cool thing about the ingesting the data into Wiz is all the data flows into the Wiz security graph. And the Wiz security graph is where the magic happens, because that allows cloud security persona to have the blast radius, the code to cloud impact. Meaning, if I will ship this code into production, I find problem in a repo, and if this code will be shipped into production, that will be the blast radius. That's the impact that's going to happen in my environment. And having the blast radius of the code to cloud give them the ability to understand and put the guardrails in place. Remember the example that I brought in the very beginning is the SecOps need to engage with the cloud security need to contact with the developer, right? Now the developer are being enabled to understand the blast radius by themselves before they ship code in production, so it makes the life much easier. From the other direction, because we also connect your finding into Wiz, assuming that we find a problem in the cloud, we are able also to do the backwards, the code to cloud analysis. So SecOps team finds something, cloud security teams is engaged, cloud security teams using the cloud to code capabilities are able to trace it back to the relevant developer that actually pushed this code into production from the very beginning, assign them, open them PR, and remediate very fast. So this is the power when you bring in the insights from Sonar into the Wiz security graph, and this is like all the magic happen, code to cloud and cloud to code analysis.
That's great, and I think this is a classic example of a productive, industry collaboration where we can bring our mutually beneficial capabilities to our many joint customers and future joint customers as well. One thing I'd love to dig in on a little bit. You talked about the role of code scanning there, et cetera, and there's like traditional approaches to doing that. There's emergent approaches to assessing code quality and code security using LLM tools and so on. One of the things that we have noted in our conversation with our customers, many leading organizations around the world, is that there's a fundamental challenge in that AI, LLM-based software development is fundamentally probabilistic. It's a strength and a challenge, right? The strength is that it uncovers these interesting, novel, creative approaches, but also it's a little bit of a shifting stance. The answers change from round to round, and that seems sometimes fundamentally at odds with the challenges of security, which really needs to be deterministic. There cannot be a different answer if the answer that you were counting on missed a vulnerability, missed a zero-day exposure that ends up compromising the organization. They only have to be right once. You have to be right every time. And so that being right every time seems to demand a deterministic approach. And one of the things that we found that's really maps well from Sonar's core capabilities here is this history and large corpus of deterministic rules that we have applied to code analysis, program analysis for many years. It seems like that while there are new opportunities to enhance that with LLM-based AI approaches for, agentic security researcher, things like that, there's still a value to fundamental deterministic rules analysis, verification gates or quality gates, as we often call them. So how do you see? Do you agree with that? How do you see the deterministic and the probabilistic sides of AI-assisted software development unfolding?
Okay, so that's a very good one. I think I'll try to take it from the risk perspective, okay? Because you can have deterministic rules. Deterministic rules are great because they will catch, classic things that happen that's for sure, right? But you can do like the equivalent of like, I have new developers that is building something not like come from different organization, have different coding style, right? That is not purely determinist on how I'm writing code in my organization. So I think having the rules that assess your code deterministic, it's great, it's valuable. But I think the moment you add that, the code to cloud impact, it doesn't really matter if it's been deterministic or not deterministic, because the risk, it's deterministic. What do I mean? You generate a code, you run your analysis, and you are using tools like us to do code to cloud analysis. We tell you, okay, if whoever wrote it, if it's a machine or a human, if this code will be shipped into production, that will be the blast radius. That is the impact that is going to happen in your environment. That's deterministic because this is the code, this is its impact. And I think this is the real guardrails that you can put, because in the end, if I'm pushing something into production and it won't cause any real security impact, okay, it's as you mentioned, tons of new code is being pushed into production. I need to chase it and find the ones that are actually causing a problem. So I think there is room for both deterministic approach and non-deterministic approach. Having said that, put the code to cloud concept and impact, it's crucial.
I agree. I think it's the combination of these capabilities or these styles of verification are the way to ensure comprehensive security, which is truly what's needed. That's the deterministic result that's needed. I agree with your framing there. So we're having this conversation in early 2026. Right now, the industry discussion is really the shift towards agents of all kinds in all contexts: agentic development, agentic security, response. So I'm curious to dig in from your perspective and from Wiz's perspective. How do you view the what comes next as we apply more agentic patterns in this problem space of ensuring code quality and code security in our applications? And including, we've talked a lot about the sort of analysis part of this, but there's also the remediation or the response part of this that seems to call for or invite an agentic approach. So, how do you see the agent-powered next phase of of this space, and then how might Wiz and Sonar collaborate, extend what we've already started to help organizations manage that transition to come.
That's first of all, I think it's fascinating. Like the point in time that we are right now, the future is actually changing as we speak, and that's truly exciting. Remember that I told you, like, also the attacker are using AI to come, to try to compromise your environment. We truly believe, I personally, and also that's like the vision is like winning AI using AI. The only way to win AI, winning, whether it's like coming from, let's say, an attacker perspective, or as mentioned, new code is being shipped into production, the only way to handle that is by leveraging AI. Meaning, in all of the security tools, you have to have agents running and help those security teams do the, give them all the evidence they need in order to get like the smart decision and then to do remediation. So even right now we are working at Wiz, we have like 3 agents that we are building, okay? One that help you more understand if you have an ongoing attack in your environment. The one that actually, come up and tell you the risk if something is happening. The other one is like remediation agent that help you better fix and remediate and give you smart suggestion. Like I imagine the future is wake up in the morning, writing my code, and then code agents is already been run, scanning my code, offer me fixes. I simply need to review them, automatically do PR for them. That's where the future goes. Another angle is like, and I talk about that in the past, is like even how partners are interact with each other. So MCP was the first building blocks to how organizations are going to talk with each other. But even right now, we see like between even companies that do integration, it's going to be like agents to agents. And the more agents to agents will collaborate, again, with us as human, observing their results, making sure they're not like going out of the, like do whatever they want by themselves, but we put the guardrails, and we make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to do. I think that's the future, okay? The future will be agentic to agentic integration, collaboration to detect fast, to prioritize better, and to respond fast. That's going to be the future.
Well, I think we're in a great position to enter that future together. Continue this collaboration that we've started. Encourage everybody to check out the details of the new Wiz and Sonar integration and track how that evolves as we continue to move forward into this agentic era. I'll co-sign on your vision of the agents sharing the burden while we have our coffee. And Aran, I'd love to next coffee's on me. And thank you for joining
maybe
us.
Maybe an agent would create that for us. I don't know.
That would be, I could use a coffee agent, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. And by the way, even now, partner can still check. We literally last week introduced our Win MCP. So the Win is the program that we build also together, like Sonar is part of Win. So we launched last week the Win MCP that help organizations build integration very fast. And then agent on top of that is like simply the next phase.
Perfect. Well, great. I encourage everyone to check it out, and I'll just conclude by thanking you for this great partnership and for joining us here at the Sonar Summit today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us, and thank to the Sonar team for the great partnership. We're truly excited about that.
Terrific.